Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Daily number 522, where we learn to be a better gamer. I'm thrilled for so many reasons. One, I need to adjust my camera. Oh, and I did it perfectly on the first try. Yes, I love Tuesday. There are many reasons to be thrilled, but let's talk about the most important one first. I'm doing a daily. Last time I did a daily was November 7th. November 6th. It was many ages ago. I went from Dallas for MLG Dallas, and then I went to Austin for the Lone Star Clash 2, and then I went to Shanghai for the Battle.net World Championships, and now I'm here, I'm back, I'm in my room, and all I have to do is sit around and talk about StarCraft. Squee! Oh my god, I feel like a 40-year-old mother waiting for the new Twilight movie to come out. And it's finally out, and everything's great. You're in line, just, it can't possibly be bad. God, that 40-year-old mom. Let's talk about the awesome. Today, let me first introduce the topic. It is Newbie Tuesday, and we're going to be looking at the Immortal Sentry All-In that Parting used judiciously at the Battle.net World Championship to mollywhomp opponent after opponent. In this Newbie Tuesday, we will both learn the simple execution of the opening. We'll talk about why it's so effective. And we'll also talk about the specific micro that happens at the battle that allows it to be so successful. If you're a Zerg player, I'm back! Don't worry, Zergs. We'll sort that out. We'll sort out how to deal with it a little bit. In this daily, we're also going to explore follow-ups, things that can... that you do if the Immortal push doesn't pan out properly. And of course, if you, we're going to look at the very end, some styles, some ways to thwart it, and a little bit about that. Let me just note that there's new Day 9 merchandise. Day 9 merchandise! We have things such as this very sexy Day 9 TV mouse pad. Ooh! Squee! Oh, yes, look at that. Oh, we got the Day 9 TV mouse pad. What else do we have? We got the Day 9 TV mouse pad. Squee! Oh my god, I'm actually using one right now. That's the noise. You can hear it. Now, I think... Let me open up this awesome baggie. Let me show you what else I have. Let me show you what else you can get. You can get a Day 9 keycap. Oh! It goes on the number row. You can replace your 9 with this. It's a 9 key. Oh, yeah. Squee. Squee. And, of course, you can even get the keycap set if you want to have all the letters of Day 9 TV. Yeah, I think there's the V floating on the backside. Son! Yeah, look, you even get the lines on the top and the bottom to be all stylish, and they're tapered. There is even a mug. I don't have that on me right now. I just have a chicken mug. But if you go to day9.tv, there's a store button at the top, and you click on it. And that is where they are. There's a new t-shirt. Oh, by the way, these are mechanical keycaps for Cherry MX switches. So if you own like a SteelSeries 7GS, I can't remember the numbers, but that SteelSeries mechanical keyboard works with a DOS keyboard. It works with a Razer Black Widow, is it? I'm messing up the names of the products. Razer SteelSeries DOS all have things called mechanical keyboards, and you pop the keys off, put that on. 7G and 6GV2. Thank you, internet chat. There's also 2 new shirts. There's a polo shirt like this, except it has a 9 here. Instead of a little Ralph Lauren polo horse, it just has the 9 there. So that way you can be sort of hidden in public if you're at your workplace and you want to just go in there with the black shirt and the 9 thing and the 9 on the keyboard. You can do that. There's, most importantly of all, last but not least, there's a new shirt that says Mana Badass. Because I know y'all love playing them 4v4 Mana Battles. That is correct. A Mana Badass shirt is now in stock. Oh man, is it weird that I'm excited to buy my own stuff for Christmas for myself? I'm not getting anything for anyone. Screw those people. Woo! Alright. Whew. Ugh. Also, I want to go ahead and get to the daily, just wanted to briefly note that right after today's daily, I am in another episode of Metadating with my good friends Sean Bouchard and Bill Grainer, whereby we will be discussing indie games that explore romance and the battle between the sexes. Go to day9.tv again, it's all there. Just day9.tv, and there you go. Everything that has to do with me is there. I think you can even find my math thesis on there. Let's talk about today's daily. Fantastissimo! In today's daily, we're going to look at this Immortal Sentry all-in. It's a very simple build. I'll go ahead and begin with the basic structure of it and talk a little bit about why I'm not that freaked out about it. It's a very basic build. You early expand as Protoss. You build up Immortals and Sentries and a Warp Prism. And then you move out to attack and use that Warp Prism to warp in additional units. So you get the Zealots and Stalkers while you are moving out in battle. It hits Zerg right before a key timing where they can really get a lot of their layer tech up. They're pretty much relying exclusively on Lings and Roaches. And they don't even quite get the chance to have a lot of their upgrades done, like a lot of attack upgrades for Roaches or the Roach speed. So the force fields end up doing some pretty significant work, and that's why it's good. It is an all-in generally. You're trying to win with it, or you will just lose with it. It does rely on having good force field placement, but I like this as something to do on a Newbie Tuesday because it's an easy enough build where first you do the build in the base, and then when you're in the battle, all you have to focus on is the battle. Now, one thing that's kind of interesting about the Immortal Sentry all-in is a lot of people are concerned that it's sort of game-breaking, that it's impossible to hold off. What's quite exciting to me, though, is that it is something that is going to cause Zergs to kind of go, maybe I need to do something a little differently. For the longest time, Zergs have gone double expand against Protosses and gone for the layer at 7 minutes, then gone for Roach speed, and then taken all their 6 guys, or sometimes 5, and then gone straight for the Infestor. And only then, at that point in time, were Protosses able to really do anything. Void Ray attacks were easily thwarted with Queens. Early 8-minute Warp Gate pressure was thwarted with Ling Roach. Everything was held off by the Zerg player with this build. But what's exciting now is that, oh yeah, and of course this made Protosses go, well shit, I can't attack him ever. He'll just hold it all off. I better play passive. So you have 2 people playing passively and 2 casters wanting to shoot themselves in the face because every PvZ was the same damn thing every game! Fortunately, with this new style of build, it may make Zergs hesitate to rely so much on the 3-base early expanding. We even see players like Lowly, like Lenok. I'm going to quote some of the superstar Korean players who do this because I know that there's those people there who's like, unless a Korean does it, I don't take it. It's not real. Lenok does this very successfully, going for Infestors quickly on 2 bases and delaying the 3rd. Still getting it at around 6 minutes, but delaying it a little bit. So I'm excited to see that sort of stuff sort of puke out. Some shifts going on there. So all in all, it sucks for Zergs who only know how to do that one opening and are struggling to hold this off, but it's exciting because it's going to push the matchup forward in the metagame. Ha! Now that we've gotten that little rant out of the way, let's go ahead and put on our all-in hats and learn how to do the all-in. Of course, wouldn't be a daily without it. Now, I'm going to note a couple things in this part 1. In part 1, we're mainly going to learn the what of the build segment. In part 2, we're going to be looking at the execution of the attack. Parting will do some mineral pairing. Like you see these 2 little probes, they get paired up. I'm not that concerned about you doing that. Also, Parting is going to build his first pylon behind the minerals. I know many of you would prefer to build your first pylon here, and that's fine too. I don't want you to take this too extremely literally, what I'm saying, like, okay, he's building the pylon here, you have to do that. I'll note what the strength of this is and what the weaknesses of this is. This is very strong against 6 pools and 8 pools and the like, just due to the fact that we can build our forge and cannon here, and we don't end up losing our forge. It's a little weak against players who are smart at pulling off 8 to 10 pools because they will shut down this expansion. But Parting is essentially taking a risk. He's saying, I'm going to go pylon in my main base. I'm not going to scout at all. I don't give a damn. I'm going to go straight for an expand nexus on 16. Notice that it is on 16, not on 17. This is the benefit that you gain by leaving that probe behind. He mines for a full another minute and a half or so. So you do have that benefit of a little bit of extra minerals. So we go for the 16 Nexus, for the 17 Forge, and then for the 17 Gate. Now those numbers all are quite specific. Now I know many folks are saying things, I even see them in the chat, saying things like, but dude, he's going Pylon, Nexus, Forge, Pylon. Isn't that a little bit greedy? Isn't that going to end up screwing you in a ton of circumstances? Only in a small set, as a matter of fact, are we screwed in some way. The fact is, by leaving our probe at home and having him mine, we gain a pretty significant chunk of time. A probe mines 40 minerals a minute, so if we just leave him at home for 2 minutes, in other words, if we don't scout early, we pretty much gain an extra cannon's worth of minerals. So, just for comparison, Sen went for the standard pool timing. Sen went pool first. 14 pool first. And look at how fine we are in terms of the timing. This is the only time I'm really going to reveal. I'll also note that there's only about 3, I believe it's 3 chrono boosts spent on the Nexus for the probes. It's saved for a little bit of time until we get our cannon started. Here's our cannon starting, and we see that the lings from Sen are only just now popping out. I generally don't want to throw numbers at you, especially if it's a Newbie Tuesday. I don't want to be like, now 3:35 and 4 minutes and 6 minutes and all that shit. I don't want to do that. But I'm going to. Just this once, just un poquito, just a little bit of timing. A good timing to know. About the earliest lings will pop out in standard play is 3 minutes and 30 seconds. If he's playing standard, his lings will pop out at his base at 3:30. Why do I tell you this? Because I want you to be sitting at home doing this. You've built your gateway. You've literally, where is it? You've just started your cannon. And I want you to think, aha, lings can only just now be coming. What happens if you saw lings right here? You'd instantly know he did an earlier pool. By the way, I'm getting some notes that the stream is down. Just give me a 1 if the stream's good and a 0 if you can't see anything. Well, actually, if you can't see anything, you won't type anything. So as long as I see some 1s in chat, I'm going to be happy. But I just updated. Good. People can see it. Sorry, thank you. I just updated my XSplit, so I wanted to be sure. Yeah, so great. So there's really not that big a threat, and this is actually why Parting leaves this probe here. He just wants to do some general investigating. By this time, since we've seen nothing, we know he's going for some long-term play. So, alright. Going ahead and taking the double assimilator. And after we've built this cannon, then we can start going back to chrono boosting probes. We get gases when we can after our gateway. And all this sort of thing. Now, I'll just note, most players, when they're going for 3 base, will take this at 4:15. That's all you got to look for. Is he taking a 3rd base at 4:15? If for some reason you got here and there was no base, and then you went to go check the natural and there was also no base, you'd know he was going for some sort of roach all-in, and you would just build a bunch of cannons appropriately. But either way, things are pretty much as simple as they seem. We literally aren't scouting anymore. To hell with scouting. We've seen a 3rd base. That's all we need to see, damn it. And all you're going to do is chrono boost probes. Chrono boost, chrono boost, chrono boost. Chrono boost. Make sure that you do smart things like have 16 in your main mining minerals. That's 2 full rows. Before rallying over to your expansion. Chrono, 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 max chrono. With one little exception. Here's where we start to see some interesting stuff. We go for a early stalker. We chrono boost this bad boy out, and we get ourselves this warp gate research. And we build a robo facility. 5:30 is about the time you're looking for. That's about the money time. Robo and assimilator will plop down at the exact same time. Now, one thing I want to note is that generally when players do the Immortal Sentry all-in, or at least the way that they used to get both of these gas geysers quite early. They used to get this +1 quite early. But what PartinG's doing is he's instead getting his robo facility very, 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 very early. A very, very early robotics facility. And the real key is that PartinG is not going to get a bunch of sentries first and then the Immortals. He's going to focus on the Immortals and then try to catch up with some nice management. By cutting the first Zealot, cutting all that stuff, now PartinG has this one Stalker to be able to lock out any vision. This is just an anti-Overlord Stalker. Don't send this guy out. There's no reason to. There's no need. We're just checking for Overlords. Now, as this robo facility is coming out, I'm sure you're starting to see this is getting a little bit weird again. We've only built one sentry, and then we're going to literally go +1 attack and an Immortal. Now, in terms of units we've spent gas on, is just these two. Just these two. That's it. Nothing else. Literally nothing else. We're creating buildings in a way that we can do warp-ins on the low ground. We're just scouting around our bases to make sure Overlords don't get in. Easy peasy, easy peasy. Now, PartinG does something that I'm so thrilled to be able to say. He just builds gateways about when he can afford it. There is nothing elegant about when PartinG builds the gateways. And I'm thrilled at that inelegancy, because I don't even have to be precise. Well, he has money, so he just kind of starts building gateways. And that's exactly what he does if you watch him play. Whenever he just has the money, builds one. Hey, thank you for being so Newbie Tuesday friendly, Mr. PartinG. Now, in terms of counting probes, I think counting probes can sometimes be a little bit difficult. So we're just going to kind of keep making probes as we can. All that chrono boosting that we were originally doing on our probes, now we're spending it on our Immortals, like non-stop. We're going to watch this like a hawk. We're not even really doing that much chrono boosting on this +1 attack, because we only need the +1 attack to pop out right as we're at his base. So look at how freaking late this last assimilator is. 7:30. Or as I like to say it, right when we're getting our second Immortal, we get our second assimilator. So remember, third gas when we start the robo, the second gas or fourth gas when we start Immortal 2. And other than that, we just build stuff as we can afford it. No chrono boosts here, no chrono boosts here, only chrono boosts here. PartinG does another very smart thing, which is that he's going to create a layer of wall right here. And then this is where things get easy. Right when this last Immortal pops out, that's when we stop probe production. Easy peasy. When this Immortal pops out, we're done making probes. And there we chrono boost our Warp Prism. And see, we're still kind of making gateways. This never chrono boosted once. +1 is just now finishing. Nice. We have 7 sentries. And there's one last bit I'm going to note before we end up pausing and going to break. Notice that there's actually not that many sentries in this force. Normally players will leave with 12. But watch what PartinG does. He's going to continue to warp in many sentries as this push goes on, and zealots. What differentiates PartinG's push from others is the number of zealots he gets. Still warping in zealots. And we're going to end up with about 10 or 11 sentries. Alright, that's about it for the push part, or for the early build part. When we come back to part 2, we're going to examine in depth the sort of cool tricks that PartinG is doing with his warp in play, and then we're going to watch the battle play out really easily, and then we're going to watch a second game and see what happens when our immortal push doesn't work out so well. Also, the police are very loud, so I'm going to take a break. See you in 1 minute or 2.